Okay, good morning, everyone. Today we're going to discuss machine learning, and this is an extension of what we have discussed so far, machine learning for regression analysis. Okay, what we're going to do is, by the way, uh, okay, in your setup, you can just include here set.seed 2025 so that we have the same. Okay, don't forget to okay to put this class in your setup set.seed. Okay. And then we're going to load the packages. Okay, so let's first take a look at this. So I'm creating this vector called packages, and it consists of the different packages that we're going to use. Some of these most of these we have already loaded. So we're still going to use pacman, but it says here that if pacman, okay, if it's existing, okay, then uh, if it's not existing class, then install packages pacman. I'll share this class. So some of the codes I'm going to share to save on you typing the code. Okay. So okay, if it's not existing class, if you cannot require pacman, then you install the packages. Otherwise class, you install first, okay? And then otherwise class, if it's already existing, then you don't have to install the package. Then here we load class. We load the packages, this one class. We can't just put here pload packages class here. You have to identify that this is character is equal to packages, then install, and then let's not update, no? So this is the comprehensive code to, first of all, get pacman, make sure it's installed, and then use pacman to load these packages here. All right, so let's run this class. And a suppress package startup class minimizes the initial messages that you get when you're loading packages. So that's suppress package startup messages. So notice that when you loaded this class, there were not so many messages that you got. Unlike when you install packages and then you get so many messages class. So the use of suppress packages startup messages will suppress those messages. Okay, I'd like to request your feedback class if you're able to follow class. Were you able to load the packages and uh, did you get many messages in installing the packages? I'll wait for your response, class. Hmm. Good, thank you. Let's wait for your classmates. Okay, thank you. A few more seconds. Okay, good. All right, if you have any questions, you know the drill, class. Please make sure you ask questions. Okay, so let's move on, class. This is very easy. Let's first identify our start date and end date. Okay. Uh, I'll not anymore give this to you, class. I'm sure you can type it on your own. Okay, and then class, once you're done, kindly chat, please. All right, so we identified, let's use data from 2015 to 2024. Okay. All right, so before I share this with you, take a look at this first. Symbol, foreign currency class, we're using USD Philippine is equal to X. So this is the ticker symbol. Okay. And then here, this is something I haven't discussed with you before, but I normally use this. So now I'd like to share this with you. So we're creating this object, FX, foreign exchange XTS, because we know that we're using the get symbols function from quant mode, which we have already loaded. So notice that for the first time, we're using this try catch. Now the try catch function will allow us to see uh, more robust messages if there's an error class. Kasi before, we just use get symbols, di ba? So notice here, we're adding a from to, then auto.assign. We know this. Auto.assign is equal to false. We're going to use this name. And then comma, here, error is equal to function E. So I appended here a function E, okay? And then here, stop, the function stop, failed to download whatever the name of your asset is. And then E dollar message. So it gives a clear error message instead of just the null message or the missing object. Okay. So it gives us a clear message on any problem that we may have if you're loading this asset. In this case, it's US dollar PHP. So this is the ticker symbol. Okay. And then here we create this object USDPHP, okay, which is coming from the closing price of FXXTS. Okay. FXXTS is the object that will be created using the get symbols. And then here we change the column names. Column names of USDPHP is USDPHP. Okay. So that way, class, we're still preserving FXXTS. We're generating a new object. Okay, and then we're changing the column name. All right. So let me Control C, share this with you. Share. Oops, sorry. Chat pala. Okay. So kindly run that class and see. If you don't get any message, class, it means that you can, of course, check if FX XTS and USDPHP were generated, and then check USDPHP if the column name was changed to USDPHP. Okay, so let me run this also. Okay, so the console did not register any okay, it just says here, class, my warning, USDPHP is equal to X. Notice, class, that it now generated some warnings because of this try-catch function. Okay. Some functions will not work if objects contain missing values in the middle of the series. Consider using na.omit, na.approximate, na.fill, etc., or na.locf to remove or replace them. So notice, class, that there's a message here, okay, which we don't usually get if we just use get symbols. Okay, that's why that's the purpose, class, of this try catch. Okay, once again, class, kindly please chat if you were able to get it. Check if you have FXXTS and USD PHP. Here I'm going to check this USD PHP, and you notice I now have this, class. USDPHP. Feedback, please, class. Okay, good. Thank you. So we were able to download now the US dollar Philippine exchange rate from 2015, okay, to, where's that? 2015 to 2024, 1231. Okay, 1231. Okay. All right. Now, I want us to download another asset. Okay. The name of the asset class is VIX. This is volatility index. This is the index for measuring volatility class. So VIX class. Okay. So I want you to just copy this and replace this with VIX class. So here you can use VIX XTS. Okay. And then replace this with, let's use VIX big. Okay, of course you'll replace this also. And let's change the column name to VIX. All right. So I'll give you a minute, class, please. Do that now.
Sir, naka-pause po yung screen share.
Sorry. Kind of check, class, is VIX is ano, mali yata ako sa VIX. Dapat yata caret, no? Kasi parang ano siya eh. Okay, yeah, since it's just like GSPC, so you should use yeah, caret VIX plus. It's like Standard and Poor's. It's an index. This is volatility index. And then I want you also to download. Let's also use another predictor, oil prices. Let's see how oil prices affect the exchange rates, the US dollar Philippine peso exchange rate. So do that also for Brent class. So check what's the ticker symbol for Brent. And when you're done, class, kindly In the chat box, please. Done, class, done. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so let's compare, class. I hope you were able to get it. So for VIX class, just the same thing. You just replace class yung here symbol VIX. No, sorry. I think anyway, it's just a name. Symbol VIX, and whatever appears here, class should be the same one here, so that you can run the symbol, the get symbols, and then just replace this class. Okay, so that when a message is given, it will show this one. And then let's okay, here, what did I use? I used VIX, right? Okay, I could have used VIX XTS, but it's okay. VIX, and then VIX here. Okay, and then I changed the name, class, because the name will not be VIX. Okay, I'll run this, and let me now check my VIX object, which should be an XTS object. So notice, class, here, ito yung warning, class, ano? Yan. Okay, and then if I check my VIX here. Okay, the column na yun is now VIX. And you notice, class, it has many NAs. May mga NAs. We'll deal with this in a while. Okay, and then lastly, in Brent, the ticker symbol, class, is BZ is equal to F. So for those of you who were not able to get this, okay, so kindly, I'll give you a few seconds, class. Okay, done, class. So you should have the Brent oil prices also, class. Let's check Brent here. All right, Brent. Okay, feedback, class, please, if you're able to follow If you have USDPHP, you have VIX, and you have Brent. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, good. Okay. Now we have to check, class. Uh, we have to check for missing values. We're now doing data wrangling. We're now doing data cleaning. And in your thesis class, when you do this, definitely when you download data, maybe some of the data will be missing. So the question is, what do you do with that? Because we cannot perform machine learning class if there are missing values. So let's first extricate, class, how many missing values do we have? So let's just get some is that NA, our USD, PHP, our VIX, and our Brent. Okay, so may I ask you to do that, class? Let's check for the missing values. Let's get the sum of the missing values for each of the objects, and then please chat in the chat box. How many are you getting, class? How many missing values are you getting? Strong range here. How about in your place, class? Okay, thank you, Jason. 392.2. Okay, how about the others? 92. Wow, that's VIX, no? So many missing values. Definitely, we have to address that. If it was only 3 or 2, then that would have been very easy. We could have just used the LOCF. Justin, 332. Are you sure? We have to check, Justin, your code, no? How about the others? I want to see the others first. You should be getting 392.2, class. Waiting for your response, class. Three nine three. Mm, 392. King 392. How about the others, please? I'm not getting any response from the others. Code ng VIX. Oh, sandali lang, ah. I just want to get the answers of everyone. Then we'll go back to that. Pakilagay muna yung answer nyo, class. Kung nag-error, lagay nyo nag-error. I want to see first what you're getting. 392.2. Okay, thank you, Pablo. How about the others, class? What's happening, class? Mildred, thank you. Okay, so let me go back to the... Okay, di ba class yung ano natin, ito yung for our we have this, in fact I just shared this with you. So there should be no problem with your USD PHP class. So if I put here sum is .na USD PHP, okay, we should get the missing values class for USD PHP. Control enter. So there are 3 missing values class for USD PHP. You should have 3 here class. This one I shared with you class, so you should not have any problem with this. Okay. Now for this one, okay, so take a look at this. I'm introducing this object symbol VIX, which is your caret VIX. This is an index, volatility index. So we're creating this object VIX, which is get symbols of which asset, this one, symbol VIX. And then we introduce the message, error message, using the try catch. Okay. And then, so that will generate now the XCS object called VIX. So what we did was to get the closing price of VIX. Okay, we were not using the OHLC. We're just using the closing price, and then the column name class, we're changing it to VIX because the column name will be different class. So we made it VIX. Okay. And if you run this class and then sum is .na of VIX, okay, you should be getting 92. Okay, let me pause for a while, class, and ask you if you were able to get this, class. The 92 class, 92 missing values. There are 92 missing values in the asset VIX. Okay, may I have your feedback, class, please? Yes or no, please? Okay, good. Anybody having a problem, class? Wait, let me back. Justin, were able to address the problem with the output, Justin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Sige, good. How about si may nagtanong kanina? John? Kent? Okay ka na, Kent? Natalie, okay na? Okay, thank you. Natalie, how about you? Okay na? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you for your questions, class. Okay. All right, so we can see here that we have a problem with our data. We cannot proceed, class, with any statistical or mathematical analysis if we have missing values. So we need to deal with that first. Okay. Now, if you take a look at VIX class, where's my VIX here? So many missing values. If we were only using this class, if it was only a univariate analysis, we're just modeling VIX. The most logical thing to do would be to do LOCF class. LOCF. Okay, so let's okay. Let's try that class. Let's create this object called VIX. So yeah, let me do this. Okay, let's insert here. Here na lang. Okay, let's call it VIX LOCF. Okay. Okay, VIX. Do I have LOCF? There are none. LOCF class. And it's this is coming from your zoo package. LOCF class. There. Here class. And then, okay, what's the object? It is VIX class, no? VIX. And then let's view this. Okay. Can we run this class? And by the way, sum is .na VIX. Okay. LOCF class stands for last observation carried forward. So that means it's logical class because perhaps the reason why there is no value here is that maybe there was a holiday, okay? 16, 17, 18. Okay, so the value here was not carried forward, okay? So there are many NAs here class, and most of them occur uh, maybe during weekends class, maybe during weekends, but for some maybe, okay, weekend here, maybe a holiday, maybe 403 was a holiday, etc. For whatever reason, but we have 92 missing values here. So if we were only studying this VIX, let's say we were modeling this time series object, then we could have used LOCF class. Okay, so let's run this. Oops. Sorry, wait. Huh? LOCF? Wait, huh? Sorry. LOCF. Wait. LOCF. XTS. Wait. NA dot. Okay. So it's from XTS, no? Sorry. Meron din sa zoo. So zoo and then na.locf. na.locf. Okay. Okay, let's try this. Okay, take a look at this class. So what happened now to our VIX LOCF? Let's see. VIX, where's my VIX? The first missing value is January 19. Okay. January 19. Notice class, January 19 here now took the value of the previous uh, price, 20.95. It's now 20.95. Okay. So, mali, not VIX, VIX. Okay. And now there is no missing value class. Okay, let me just share this with you. No, I want you to write it. Okay, check please class how we can resolve missing values, especially in time series. Okay, and it makes sense class to carry forward. Last observation carried forward. So let me just write that. Last observation carried forward. Okay, it makes sense. This makes sense, class. Okay, could you kindly please once again in the chat box, please confirm if you were able to, if you understood that LOCF, class? Okay, good. How about the others, please? Okay, all right, good. Now that is if we were doing a univariate time series. Now things can be different if we're dealing with with a multivariate time series. Okay, remember we're dealing with US dollar USD PHP exchange rate. We are also dealing with Brent oil prices. Okay, so how will this work, class? US dollar PHP has three missing values. Brent has two missing values, and VIX has 92 missing values. So what will now happen if we merge them all together? Okay, so let's go through the steps, class, no? Let's, I have here some notes. Okay, here. So we don't just automatically just do LOCF, especially if we're dealing with multivariate time series. Okay, so let's take a look at what I wrote here, class. And as your guidance, class, especially when you're doing your paper already. Okay, where's my notes? Here. Okay, we first check how many rows we would keep if we do an inner join. Okay, class, what's inner join? When you say inner join, class, okay, this is one type of joining. What will be included are only the dates that are common to all. Okay, so for example, if you're joining US dollar exchange rate, VIX and Brent, if a particular date, let's say January 15, 2015, January 15, 2015, class, if it's missing from VIX, okay, then that will not be included. Only dates that are common to all will be included in your model in our data. So this is what we call inner join. Okay, I hope that's clear, class, yung inner join, no? Now, let's say if inner join keeps most of the rows, let's say greater than 80%, we use inner join plus NA.omit. This is the simplest and the safest. So what do we mean by this? We're not going to use LOCF here, class. What we're going to do is just compare which dates are missing. Just remove that, class. Okay, so that's one method. So let's do that first, and then we're going to compare it with doing LOCF and then merging. Let's see which is better, class. Okay, so here, if inner join drops too many rows, then we do LOCF. Okay, we do all LOCF only for the series with sparse isolated gaps. Okay, then inner join. All right, so I hope you got the process. The first option is to do inner join immediately. Do not do LOCF first. Then the second option is do LOCF and then inner join. So we'll see which is better of the two. Okay, so it depends on how many observations will be dropped. If there's not much difference between the inner join and then the LOCF and inner join, then we choose the inner join, class. We choose the inner join. Why? Because when you do LOCF, class, take note you're doing some manipulation with your data. Okay, take note that when we did LOCF with VIX, what we did was to carry forward the prices uh, of the previous date. Okay, so if inner join and LOCF plus inner join will not will not result into uh, uh, much much difference class, then we just use inner join. Okay, all right. So let's go here, class. Let's do this one by one. I want you to write it. Okay, first let's do the union or let's merge, class, merge. So we're going to merge US dollar, VIX, and Brent. All is equal to true, class. I want you to do that first. Okay. USD, VIX, and Brent, all is equal to true. Control Enter. Then let's take a look at what's inside merged union. Okay. So notice what merged union does. It includes all the dates, class. It includes all the dates. So for example here, July 21, 2023, there's no value for that for USDPHP. But VIX and Brent has values there, so you include it nevertheless. Okay. For July 14, only US dollar, for okay, for July 23, only US dollar has a value. VIX and Brent does not have any value. Okay. You include that still. Okay. Brent has a total of 2916. Okay. VIX has a total of 2607. Okay. All right. The merged class has a total of 2915. So the merged will be more class because it will include all the dates from what will prevail class is your USD PHP. How many USD PHP? Okay, what happened to my USD PHP? 2609. My VIX has 2607 and my Brent has 2516. So the merged union class will have more class because it will include the dates that are missing for all of the assets. Okay, so it will be uh, if there are missing dates for all of the assets, then it will have more dates than any of the assets. Okay, let me pause for a while, class. Is this clear, class? Si merged union. Clear ba siya, class? Pa-chat naman please, class, kung si merged union, if you got merged union. Okay, thank you. Notice, class, I'm going through this deliberately, no? Kasi I'm not trying to uh, discuss this very fast. No? All right. So let's now, okay, let's now create this object class merged inner, okay, which is merged union and then omit, na.omit. So it will remove all the missing values. So it's similar to an inner join class because an inner join removes all the values that are NAs. It will only include dates that are common to all. Okay. Now we just don't use inner join here because inner join can only be used for two data, two time series. But since here we have 3, then we cannot use the inner join function. But we can just use the merge and then remove the missing ones. It's just the same as inner join. Okay, so let's run this, and then let's take a look at merged union. Okay, merged union. I'm sorry, merged inner pala. Sorry, merged inner. Did I run it? Okay, merged inner class where we omit the missing values. Merged inner, and then here you go, class. You only have 2214 observations as compared to including everything 2915 class. So around 700 observations were deleted. Okay, but there's no NA values here already. Okay, so and then just share this with you. This print control C, just print class. Okay, just include that here. Control enter. All right, so the union class has 2915 rows. The merged inner has 2214 rows. Okay, so we computed how much, how many rows for the inner divided by how many rows for the merged. Just one decimal place, and then print the percent. Okay, so that's what we have here. 76% of the data was retained. Okay, again, pause for a while, class. And then request for your feedback. Feedback, please, class. Feedback, please, class. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Kent, Jason, thank you. How about the others, please? I would really appreciate your feedback, class. Thank you, Isabel. Laila, thank you. Okay, good. Rick, thank you. All right. So I hope the others are able to follow, class, even if you're not responding here. But I hope you're able to follow. Okay, that's the first option, class. Just merge it and then remove the missing values. Now, as I said, class, we cannot use the joint inner joint function. There's an inner joint function, but that's only good for 2 variables. If we're joining 2 variables, if we're joining more than 2, then we just use the merge and then omit those that are missing. Okay, and it's equivalent to having an inner join, class. Again, what's inner join? Inner join is when you come up with the data, a merge data, where only those that are common dates to all, or common, not only dates, class, but also variables. It depends on what variable are you comparing the uh, comparing your variables with. Okay, so let's go to the other method, class, here. Okay, so we did this a while ago, class. Okay, so maybe I'll just this is quite long. Okay, in the interest of time, class, because I want us to already Okay, and I have here some notes about the end row class, the end row and the big end row and the small end row. It's too long. Still too long. Okay, it's a complete code class. So let's study this class. We already did this before, okay? NA before for VIX. So this is our original data class, VIX. And we know that there are 92 missing values, right? NA before, okay? That's 92. This L stands for integers, 92 class. And then let's now, okay, let's add the sums class. For the NAs, if we're going to merge USD, VIX, and Brent, all is equal to true. We actually did this a while ago, class. But when we merged it here, yung merge union, this is actually the merge union. Okay, so let's run this, control enter. And NA before, okay, before union class. So what's this class? It sums up all the missing values. So for uh, when we merge class, when we merge for NA, for USDPHP, there are 309 missing values. Now take note, class, I'm not referring to USDPHP. I'm referring now to the merge data. Okay, here, diba? This is now the merge union. And you can see here that there are now many NAs in our USD, VIX, and Brent class. Why are there now many NAs class? Initially there were 3, 92, and 2, right class? But the merge function will include everything class. All is equal to true. So it will include dates that are present in VIX and in Brent that are missing in USDPHP. So that will now increase the NAs in each of the assets here, USDPHP, VIX, and Brent. And how many are missing? This one class here. 309 for USDPHP, 400 for VIX, and 401 for Brent. Okay. So here, let's just print this NAs before. Here class. 309 VIX and Brent when we merged the data. Okay. Now we're going to what we did a while ago, the zoo class. XTS or zoo, NA.LOCF. Okay. So we're creating this object, VIX. We did this a while ago, class, uh, the forward fill, okay, which means that the let's say a particular date has a value, and then the succeeding date does not have a value. We're going to forward fill, which is just the same as last observation carried forward. We're just calling it forward fill. Okay, so let's run this VIX FF, and then let's take a look at VIX FF. Okay, what happened, class? Again, okay, no more NAs here, right? No more NAs here because of the LOCF. Wait, sorry. Here, na.rm is equal to false. Okay. And then here, we omitted, if there are any missing values class, we omit it. Okay, so VIX FF now does not have any missing values. Here, it's possible that there is, even if we did LOCF class. Okay, and then here, what do we do now? We check what are the missing values here. Okay, let's run this. How many? NA after VIX, after the NA after VIX 0 class, no more missing values. After we did the LOCF, okay. So how many NAs were filled, class? How many NAs were filled? NA after VIX, and then sorry, this one. Let's run the whole one. This one, class. Control Enter. Okay, so where's the printout? Here. So we filled out 92, class, using the LOCF. Okay, we know that 92 will be filled out. Okay. Now, after we filled out, class, the VIX, okay, what do we do now? We're going to merge now. Okay, take note, class. What we're merging now is not VIX, the one with 92 missing data. We're now merging USDPHP, VIX, okay, VIX, where we forwarded, class, the missing values, where this was where we did LOCF, and then Brent, okay, and then join is equal to inner. Now this is what I was telling you, class, no? When we're merging, we can use join inner. However, this will generate an error, but that's okay, because the default is, if it generates an error, it will just merge it normally, just like the one that we did a while ago. All right, so now, okay, I hope you're following me, class. What we did, the prior steps here is that we did the LOCF. So VIX, which had 92 missing values, does not have now any missing value. So if it does not have any missing value, and then we merge it this time with the others, class, USD, PHP, VIX, with Brent and inner, will that improve the solution a while ago, class? This one, class, where we had merged inner, class. Okay, isn't it here, class? We were using the original VIX with 92 missing values. So we did not impose any LOCF here. Now let's compare it with, we imposed LOCF for VIX and then merge it. Okay, so this is what's happening here now, class. Okay, so where are we? Where am I? Here, class. So merged after the VIX LOCF. Let's see here. And then let's omit, class. Let's omit this. Control Enter. Let's omit any missing value here for the merge after VIX. So let's now print, class. What are we printing? How many rows? Okay, when we merged USDPHP. Okay, how many rows also for the inner? Okay, and then what percent, class? Percent after the VIX LOCF plus inner join. And how many percent was retained here? So let's run this. Control Enter. All right. Let's take a look at the results, class. Okay, Okay, so I told you class, diba, yung join class, that's only good for two objects, but it doesn't matter class. Okay, it still performed the merging. So for the original, we had, when we merged it class, 2915, right? And then when we did the merger class without the VIX class, 2214. And then this one class, when we did the merger, when we did the LOCF first, and then we did the merger, 2215. Okay, so what happened, class? If we did not do the LOCF, 2214 were included out of the 2915. If we did the VIX, the LOCF, and then the inner join, 2215, isa lang class, only one difference, class. Okay? So does it make sense, class? Is option B better? It has only one observation only was added. Okay, and then I said, class, that if there's not much difference, this would be better, class, the original, the inner, class. Just remove those that are not common to all. Because we said that here, when we do LOCF, we're actually manipulating the data first. Okay? So we were including values in VIX which were not really there. Okay? And if there's not much difference, class, then use this. Okay? But if there's a big difference, then maybe perhaps we could consider the VIX LOCF. Let's suppose, for example, the difference, the data retained was 80%. Okay, 4% of 2,000 plus observations, that's quite big, class. So retention after the VIX LOCF, 76%. The retention a while ago was also around 76%. So not much difference, class. One observation. Okay. So what are we going to do, class? Should we do first the LOCF and then do the inner? Or should we just do the inner, class? The advantage in doing the first one, the inner, is that you're not actually introducing. Okay, you're not actually imputing data. When you say imputing data, you introduce data that was not there in the first place. Okay, so for the second method, where we did the LOCF first and then combined with inner, we just got 2215. In the first place, we got 2214. So practically the same, class. So what do we do, class? Okay, we do just the inner. Okay, may I have it's almost time, class. May I have your confirmation? Just give the code for the returns, class. Okay, good. Thank you, Pablo. I hope class, that you got it. No? I hope my explanation was not very muddled. Okay, we were choosing between two. What do we do now? VIX has 92 observations that are missing. We can opt to do the LOCF. When we do LOCF, then VIX will be complete. But remember, we're merging the data. And then when we merge the data using inner join or merge data, we notice that 2215 observations were retained. Okay. Now for the first one, just use the inner join immediately. Just combine and then remove the NAs. We got 2214. Okay, so in that regard, class, better, class, yung inner join lang. Kasi we were not introducing values that were not there. We were not imputing, class. As I said a while ago, the LOCF will work well if you're only doing univariate analysis. If we were only using VIX, it makes sense, class, to do LOCF. Okay, but we're now merging, we're now using multivariate, class. So, okay. So here, class, I'm going to just share this with you. It's almost time. Okay. Here. Okay, this is very important now. Okay. Up to here, class. Because next meeting, we'll do now the features engineering. Once again, class, if you need to leave, no? I'll just explain this very quickly because this will just be okay. So we're now creating this object. Okay, you know this class from the quant mode package, daily return, and then log. Okay, we're creating this object US dollar return. Where are we getting it, class? From the merged inner. Okay, remember a while ago, merged inner, and just use the USD PHP. Get the daily return, the log of that class, the log returns. Same thing, create VixRet. Okay, also use the merged inner. Remember this, what we're going to use, class, the merged inner. And then just the Vix, get the daily return, type is equal to log. Same thing with Brent class. We generate this. And then class here, this is very important. We're going now to introduce a variable called target. And this target class is, okay, it's the next day class. Okay, remember this, it will remove the latest observation class. Let's run this first. Okay, so we now have 4 objects class, USD, PHP, VIX, Brent, and then target. I'll explain target in a while. Okay, I provided you here with an explanation class. And then let's now merge this class. So we're creating this object, final XTS object, na.omit, where we merge the return of USD PHP, the log returns of VIX, and the log returns of Brent, and then also the target. And then we change the names. Okay, if we run this, let's run this first, Control Enter. Final XTS object class here. Then you can see the names are daily returns 1, etc., etc. So let's change that into, okay, column names, US dollar return, VIX, Brent, and then the target. Control Enter. So we now have the final XTS. Okay. Okay. All right. And then okay, for this one class, we're going to create a table class. Okay, so we're going to data.frame. We're going to name it final._table. Why is that so, class? There will be instances when we're going to use the XTS object, and then we're going to use also the data frame. Okay, so if you run this class, okay, so final table class is the same as final XTS, only that this is a data frame class here. It's a data frame, this one. On the other hand, this is an XTS object. Final XTS, final table. Okay, so you have the date here, class. You have here the, this is a table, a data table. This is an XTS object. Okay, so that will end our discussion today, class. So just to recapitulate, we now have this object, final XTS and final table. This is now what we're going to use. So next meeting, class, we're going to perform now the features engineering. We're going to identify the SMA, AMA, RSI, etc. The variables that we're going to use for predicting our target. Okay, and just one last explanation here. Okay, this one, class, is what we're predicting. Okay, this target. And the values that we're going to use in predicting this, class, is, I'm sorry, should be in the end here. Okay, this one, class. Where did this come from, class? This 1.0355, where did this come from? Or where did this come from, class? This one. This came from this one. Okay. All right. So I'll explain this in greater detail next meeting. So kindly read that, class, the target, because that's very important. Okay. So let me end recording now.